We are live.
Are we?
Yeah,
Oh,
we are. I'm not lying to you.
okay.
I don't think. Hello and welcome to episode number 857 of the Player One podcast for Tuesday, April 25th, 2023. I'm your host, Chris Johnston, and with me as always from Canada is Mr. Greg Seward.
Hello.
How's it going there, sir?
Not bad, not bad. How's it going with you?
It's going very well, thank you.
All right, good.
Yeah.
Good talk.
Good talk. Good talk. And joining me from the great state of Washington, Mr. Phil Theobald.
Why, hello there.
Hi. How you doing?
Not great.
No?
No.
It's that blue hoodie you're wearing. Clearly. You feeling
I gotta
blue?
admit, for an instant, just an instant,
Yeah?
I thought you were going to say blue check mark.
No.
Because I've been on the internet way
Blue
too much
check
this week.
mark.
Yeah, no, you
Yeah.
clearly have.
Yeah.
They've been trying to force that on me. I've had to cite legal precedent as to
Have
why
you
they
now?
can't.
Okay.
Can't
What would
do
that
it.
be? What would the legal precedent be?
What
don't
is
wanna.
it? False endorsement, I believe.
Yeah.
That's what
Muscle.
Drill had to do.
Who's drill?
What? You claim to be on Twitter. You imply that you've been on Twitter, but you don't know who Drill is?
Nope.
Oh my goodness.
I'm gonna go ahead and tell you now, Phil.
Yes.
There are way more Twitter users I don't know than I do know.
Well, I mean, statistically, yes, that's going to be the case.
Right.
But Drill is not an obscure.
We're in
person.
like minute 15 of this conversation. You still haven't told me who he is.
It's a
Internet
well-known-
personality.
Yeah, internet personality.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't you know all the internet personalities that
You
exist?
ever see the the tweet that gets passed around about I'm not owned as I shrink into a corn cob?
No.
What?
I
The-
haven't seen that.
The tweet about
Apparently, you use Twitter a lot more than either of
Yeah.
us do.
this is not something weird with me. This is something weird with you guys.
No, I'm not calling you weird for knowing who he is. I'm saying
Yeah.
I don't know who he is. So I just was
Okay,
asking for
okay.
context. That's all.
Yeah.
A notable Twitter user.
Okay.
Yeah, their claim to fame is they
Being
use
a notable
Twitter.
Twitter user.
Is
Okay.
being
Yes, absolutely.
So like the
personality on Twitter.
Kardashians of Twitter. So
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Pretty much.
Yes.
Oh, how you doing? How you doing, Phil?
I'm
You
fine.
feeling blue? We're blue.
No.
Okay, good.
Are you feeling the color of your shirt?
I am
Okay.
feeling the
Black.
color of. Yeah, I'm feeling quite black. No, I'm
Yeah.
feeling Tetris. That's what my shirt
Okay,
says.
okay.
Says Tetris.
Yeah.
In
Oh, look
the,
at that.
in
I'm
the
wearing
original Russian. Is that how it's spelled there, CJ?
That's Japanese. Yeah,
I'm wearing a Game Boy shirt.
excellent.
So we're kind
Wearing a
of
purple shirt.
thematically
we fit.
and my hoodie.
Oh,
That's an Astrobot hoodie.
oh, that is
So,
nice.
How could I be feeling blue when
Wearing
I'm
an Astrobot hoodie.
when I'm adorned with Astrobot?
Yeah. Does that have any pictures of Astro himself on that hoodie, or just does it say Astrobot?
No, I
on
don't
it,
even know
therefore
if this is official. I just made this myself.
I'm
Did
gonna
you
say
really?
when you first held that up, I thought it said Astro Boy, and I was actually pretty excited.
No, it does. It has.
Has an
I'm
Astro
not going to
on-
turn it
on the
around, but
back?
it has Astrobot faces all over the back.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
Yes.
I see.
And the only reason I'm not going to turn around is because I'm tethered. And I'm
Yeah,
going to end up pulling something or knocking something over. So
probably so.
I don't want to mess with my headphones. But yes, got a
I
bunch
see.
of little Astrobot faces on the back.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Very excited this week because I got a new piece of tech in the house. A new
Is it
robot.
a hammer and nails?
A drill for
A
the
new-
pictures back there.
Robot. No, it has nothing
hell's
to
a
do with
drill?
the pictures behind me that have not been hung up still.
Uh-huh.
It has to do with our cats and their litter, they're pooping and peeing. And I got a one of them self-cleaning litter boxes.
I thought you had a kid.
Very,
Doesn't that
very
make all litter
excited.
boxes self-cleaning?
Well, that's the fallback if this doesn't work out. Yeah. But I'm very happy. They've not used it yet. I just received it today.
Well, then
But
well, there's a whole lot of variables there that
there's a couple variables.
I don't know if it's a couple
that'll happen or not happen. But we'll see. Yeah. So litter box habits.
It just automatically scoops to poop.
It automatically filters it out the poopage. Yeah.
Now, if they're let's say our planet's orbit sends us through the tail of a comet, causing some sort of maximum overdrive situation, is that thing just going to start throwing cat poop all over your house?
Probably.
Okay,
that'll be pretty entertaining too. Actually,
was that the plot of the movie Maximum Overdrive?
Yes.
So I never saw it. So,
well, first of all, that's your first mistake. Is never seeing Maximum Overdrive.
Are you sure you've never seen it?
Are
you positive you've never seen it? Okay.
I don't remember the tail of a comet thing. So,
well, here's the crazy thing. Now, do they reveal that information at the beginning of the movie?
I don't recall.
All I know that movie ends, and I can't remember if it is like brought up as like a little block of text at the beginning, or if it is presented at the end of the movie. And I'm seeing it's at the end. Yeah. So you have just machines are going crazy, and then at the end of the movie, it like cuts to black, and it's just it brings up a little block of text that says, "Oh yeah, all this happened because Earth passed through the tail of a comet. Also, there was a swarm of alien ships behind that comet too, and we ended up getting into a big fight with them." Or something ridiculous like that. They threw in aliens.
Ridiculous. Yeah.
During the outro, we're wrapping things up.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, that's the movie we should have seen.
That's right. Why didn't they make that movie?
Yeah. You know why?
Why?
Cocaine.
Probably.
Yeah. I don't think it's a problem. I think
probably.
I think Stephen King has gone on record saying, I was really, really strung out on cocaine during the entire production of that movie.
That's not a shocker, I suppose.
No.
I like that movie a lot. It is a terrible film. But also, I remember that movie well because my brother and my dad rented it, and it was rated R.
Right.
And I wanted to see the movie because
like all the best movies are. Yeah.
Seriously cool. The goblin truck.
What is it?
It's the green goblin face.
Did you just call it the little goblin?
The little goblin truck.
Did you
It's like Thomas the Tank Engine, but with the goblin face.
Yeah.
No, it's like a big rig 18-wheeler with the green goblin face.
The green goblin. Technically part of the MCU.
I wanted to watch it, and they wouldn't let me.
I don't even remember seeing this cover at the rental place at all.
My goodness.
It was rated R. I wasn't allowed, and then I watched it years later, and I was like, I could have watched this when I was 11 years old or whatever. This thing is terrible.
Well, it forces you to ask yourself the tough questions, like who made who
about technology.
Yeah.
Who made who?
Yep.
And being thunderstruck.
That is AC/DC. Yeah.
I see our chat just made a who made who references.
well, Who Made Who and Thunderstruck are from the soundtrack for this movie. Like
I had no idea Thunderstruck was.
They are Maximum Overdrive references. Yeah.
See, to me, Thunderstruck is just one of those songs you hear in like hockey arenas all the time. All the time.
No, there's a much deeper, richer history.
That's right.
Clearly.
Like hearing Celine Dion, the Titanic song or something in a hockey arena.
Well, no, there was a Celine Dion's first song ever was in Maximum Overdrive.
Yeah, right.
She
So,
actually ghost wrote
French?
all of the songs that AC/DC performed for the soundtrack.
Le
how she was
Petit
discovered.
Goblin
Who
was,
made
I
who?
believe.
Is Celine Dion's song secretly. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a cover by AC/DC. See? That's how that works. Alrighty, anyway, enough of my robot litter box fun. I will
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
report
is that what
back.
we were talking about?
That's
I
where
will
this came
report
from.
back next week, very importantly, to tell you all.
I think
Now,
this
what I
might,
need you to
this
do,
might be the
CJ.
thing that makes me want Phil to do a taste test on air.
You need to try this thing out for yourself, CJ, and just to see how.
Oh,
I already did. I already put it through a dry run. Well, it wasn't
it can
a dry
handle-
run.
It can handle
was-
It can handle a hearty load.
That's right. Alrighty. Let's get into some news, shall we?
If it's good enough for me, it's good enough for the cats.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into some news.
Okay.
Very important release this week.
In that litter box?
In a litter box. Yeah, it is Picross S9.
Oh,
announced.
yeah.
Jupiter has announced a new entry
That's right.
in the Picross S series, and it releases on April 27th, and it includes some new features, including a rewind puzzle feature, so you have a little bit of an undo functionality.
You can
now.
time sweep your Picross.
You can time sweep your Picross, exactly. And I would imagine, because this has been the case with other Picross games, like when new features come to a new one, they're oftentimes like retroactively given to the previous games, right? They've done that several times.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll do that this time.
Maybe they will.
I don't know, but all of their Picross games are on sale currently, and I picked up Picross S and S9. S and S2. Yeah.
So wait, have you not played any of these?
I have played 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I don't have S or S2.
This is quite a callback to early Player One podcast.
That's right. I started on the third one.
Was it Walking Dead? Is that the one that you started on?
No, I think it was Sam and Max.
It was Sam and Max, episode 4. Yeah.
So how did you follow the story?
I know. It was very, very difficult.
Okay.
Yeah. The story being told in the Picross games, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
well, good. I'm glad you picked up those
because they're on
volumes.
sale. They're on sale. So
bargain at twice the price.
How could I resist?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but very excited about the new game coming out as well.
As well, you should be.
Yes.
The Genesis themed one ruined me. I just want all of them to be themed now.
What should the next theme be?
I'm surprised there hasn't been a Nintendo one.
I'm shocked there hasn't been a Nintendo one as well.
You know, I mean, we got that Zelda themed one as a My Nintendo reward.
Or just a Mario one or something. Anything Nintendo.
Mario would be good.
Yeah.
They could do another entry in the Mario's Picross series.
Yeah, where's Mario's Picross? I guess technically it'd be 4. Because there were the 2 Game Boy entries and then the Super Famicom.
Yeah.
But yeah. They could have had that to tie into the movie. You know?
Yeah. They really dropped the ball on that one.
Yeah.
Could have solved a puzzle and it would have been Chris Pratt's face.
But weirdly, only a 4x4 grid.
He should be the announcer for Picross. They should introduce an announcer for that. That'd be great. Anyway, so Picross S9.
Would it just yell at you when you won?
Yeah, exactly.
Picross get.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. So last week we talked about Sega rumored to be purchasing Rovio. Hey, look at that. They actually are doing that.
And Flicky came out the same week on the Switch.
That's
Coincidence?
Flicky.
The original
Came out-
Angry Bird.
Angry
Flicky was
Flickies.
Flicky was very
Angry
happy. So.
Flickies. Immediately when the NSO games got announced, and we'll talk about that in a second, and Flicky was part of that. I was like, we talked about Flicky on the show,
Yeah.
and then Flicky comes out on NSO. It's like we made that happen. We manifested Flicky.
Yep.
Yes.
I agree.
Yeah. But anyway, yes, 775 million is the price that Sega is purchasing Rovio for.
Is that good or bad?
I don't know.
Okay.
If I had 775 million, I could probably tell you. I
mean,
don't
more
know.
of like, what's Rovio actually worth, as opposed, did they overpay, underpay? Was Rovio in trouble? I have no idea. I don't follow.
I don't know either.
This stuff. So,
to be honest, have no idea. All I know is that Activision Blizzard is what, $60 billion?
So close then.
It's very close. Yeah. Very, very close. All right. So let's talk about the NSO games, because we got 4 of them. Or was it 4? No. Wait.
Genesis games? I don't think did we get 4?
4 Genesis games. Yes.
Okay.
We got Street Fighter 2 Special Champion Edition.
Yeah.
Kid Chameleon.
Mm-hmm. That's a game.
Flicky.
Oh yeah.
And Pulse Man,
which is a Game Freak game
developed by Game Freak of
another
Pokemon fame.
Fine Game Freak experience.
And Drill Dozer and Tom. What is the elephant? The badass elephant?
Tomba.
Tomba.
Is
it Tomba?
I believe it is Tomba. Yes.
Tomba was the
Tomba is
character in the PlayStation games.
PS1 game.
Oh wait, no. Yeah, you're right.
Tembo?
Yep.
Tembo.
Badass.
Clearly, we all played it.
Elephant. Yeah. I did play it.
I played it as well.
I finished that game. I'll have you know.
You know what's a great game?
Years ago.
You know what's a great game?
What's that?
Drill Dozer.
Drill Dozer. I've heard
crap.
that. I've heard tell.
Have you not played it?
I played a very small amount of Drill
Shame
Dozer.
on you.
Yeah. But I will play it when it comes to NSO. I imagine that it will.
Drill Dozer is wonderful.
Yeah.
My gosh.
And hopefully it'll use the HD Rumble to mimic the Rumble.
It did have a Rumble cart.
Yeah. That would be nice. Yeah. So what do you think of these games for NSO? Do you have any particular... What's your review, Greg, of Flicky, Kid Chameleon, Street Fighter 2 Champion Edition or Special Champion Edition?
I've never played Pulse Man. I've heard it's fantastic, but I've never played it, so I don't really have anything to say about that one. Street Fighter is fantastic. It doesn't look as good as the Super Nintendo game. It definitely doesn't sound as good.
Definitely does not sound.
But it plays, in my opinion, it plays better. Now,
really, is that because of the 6-button?
Well,
pad?
that's what I was going to say. The thing is that if you don't have a 6-button pad, I don't know. Like, I don't know if like one of these, like the 8-bit controllers will work on the Switch. I think they will.
I believe they do.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna play that game and you have one of these, use that, because
you're holding up an 8-bit 6-button controller that looks
the M30. Because
familiar
the D-pad, the D-pad for the Genesis 6-button was, I swear it was designed to play fighting games. It's of all the D-pads I've ever played, sort of the old school, quarter circle, full circle motion fighting games with D-pads. That is the one. That and the Saturn, but they were practically the same. So that's the way to play those games. And of course, the 3/3 button configuration to me is the way to play them. I was never. I'm not saying I wasn't into Street Fighter 2 on the Super Nintendo, because of course I was. Everybody was back then. But I always found it way more comfortable to play it with that controller. But no, it's a really good version. As long as you don't turn your nose up at the audio, because the audio is really rough.
It is rough. Voice samples, especially.
Fantastically. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, to me, the hidden gem there is Flicky. Flicky is a game that I never really played back when it came out. Flicky was quite old when it came out on the Genesis already. Like I think it predated like the Superscalar games. I think it was early 80s.
Really? Oh.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. And so I just kind of never, I never really, and that cover was funny to look at, but it was never, enticed me to rent it or anything like that. So I never really played it until I had covered it for Generation 16, and I absolutely fell in love with it. That game is so much fun.
Really? Huh.
Yeah,
I've never played it. It's only been the butt of a joke.
It's a fun little game.
It was
never played it.
I think it started out as Sega's answer to like dot munching games. Like it wasn't supposed to be like
really?
Pac-Man, but that's what inspired it was having a character running around a screen collecting dots. Like that's literally how that game started, and then it turned into a little bird that was collecting smaller birds that actually followed her around and would scatter if they got hit and things like that. So it doesn't. So yeah, like it's at its most basic level, it's a Pac-Man clone, but it doesn't play at all like a Pac-Man clone, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
it's
I'm gonna have to play this now.
Yeah,
it is a.
I recommend it.
Yeah, I mean, I know you, CJ. You like old school arcade experiences.
I do.
This is a quality old school arcade
Yeah.
score chasing game.
This but it's like you just got to exactly. It's like the era of like Pac-Man and Mappy and those kind of games. That's where Flicky fits in.
Okay,
it's not the early 90s.
Well, how the heck did it get a Genesis port then? Like, what happened there?
I'll tell you exactly how.
To keep Yuji Naka happy?
No, I'll tell you exactly how it did. It's because when Sega released the Mega Modem in Japan, they released something called the Game Toshoken, which was a game library where it was they were downloadable games. So you could download these different games over the SegaNet service or whatever it was called. I think it was SegaNet. And they started to mine their old arcade games for this, as well as original stuff. But like Flicky is a very small game, so it was a good game to download to be able to have it as downloadable. I think Teddy Boy Blues ended up on that service as well. But anyway, that and Fatal Labyrinth was also a downloadable game for that service. And both of those, for some reason, they decided they would put those on cartridges and release them in North America.
Interesting.
So, but they ended up on the service on the Genesis because of that Sega Game Toshoken service.
All right.
You can find all that out if you watch Generation 16, the episode about Flicky.
I mean, I knew all this information.
There you go. But no,
I will have to watch that.
Now that it's there and it's on a service you have, just fire it up.
I should.
It a full game, I mean, because you're not going to be amazing the first time you played it. It'll take minutes to get through, and I found it really addictive.
Yeah, it's a fun game.
Okay, all right.
Kid Chameleon, you might as well not even turn on.
Kid Chameleon, boy,
game's garbage.
Talk about a game that this seems like it'd be amazing.
Yeah.
And it's just trash.
All I remember about Kid Chameleon is it has a lot of levels.
100 levels or 99 or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. And I rented it and then used a cheat code to get to the end because I was frustrated by the gameplay.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
It was a I don't know if it was Sega Technical Institute or not, but it was a Mark Cerny game. He was one of the programmers on it.
Oh, really?
Yep. But no, it's just it does sound like it should be cool. It's just a side-scrolling platformer, and the hook of it is that you get different helmets, and when the Kid Chameleon puts on a different helmet, he changes into a different character with different abilities.
So you're saying
it sounds
this
cool.
Inspired Kirby?
Very much.
Is what I'm hearing.
Yeah. So it sounds really cool, but boy, it doesn't play very well.
No, it doesn't.
So there you go.
Then. All right. Well, I'll give Flicky a go and Pulse Man because I've never played that either. All right. So Bubsy might be climbing back to the top of the yarn ball soon because Atari has announced the acquisition of more than 100 PC and console titles from the 80s and 90s. That includes IP such as Bubsy, Hardball, and Demolition Racer.
So Accolade.
Accolade, yeah, and GTI brands. So GTI, I wonder if that's Good Times. Well, what was GTI? Like GT Interactive stuff?
Well, that GT went to Rockstar. Rockstar bought all that stuff. I
Okay.
thought.
Yeah.
GTI brands.
What does that mean?
I don't know what that means. But anyway, they bring up like a bunch of different PC centric franchises like 1942 Pacific Air War, F-117A, and F-14 Air Combat Series.
Like Micro Pros, maybe.
Are they gonna bring those back?
I can't imagine they will.
I can't imagine.
Yeah.
But I will say, so that Night Dive acquisition makes a whole lot more sense now. Now that they might be doing some more re-releases of these old style games, and I wonder if they're going to stop with this catalog. I would imagine they'll probably acquire some more.
Well, when you have Bubsy, where else can you go?
Right.
Exactly. You announce this one first because there's nowhere to go but up.
There's only. Oh no, I was thinking the other way around.
Oh, you were thinking the other way?
I mean, then you're going down the yarn ball. You've reached the top.
Reached that top of the yarn ball. Yeah.
Demolition Racer was released by Infogrames in 1999. If we're talking about the PlayStation 1 game.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But they were the ones who acquired the Atari name and renamed themselves Atari at one point.
Right. That's weird.
But I don't think they have anything to do with this current Atari.
No,
I don't know anymore.
So.
That name has been handed around so many times at this point.
That's true.
Anyway,
and made into things like hotels and radio hats and whatnot. But anyway, yeah. So Bubsy may be coming back from Atari. We'll have to see. And there was a new Bubsy game not too long ago, right? That
a few years back.
Yeah, a few years back. So yeah, maybe they'll remake Bubsy 3D and actually make it good.
And I was right. That those flight sims you were talking about were from Microprose. Back in the day.
I see. All right. So we got an Indie World Showcase last week, and it seemed okay. No, not really a whole lot of titles that I was interested in. Very few shadow drops, but a couple games.
What are you talking about? We got FNAF.
Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach. Yeah.
Wait, I thought that was already out.
But this was a Switch port.
A Switch port.
Oh,
okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, a couple interesting things. Mineko's Night Market looks really good. That comes out in September, I suppose. Rift of the Necrodancer from the Crypt of the Necrodancer, folks, is another sort of rhythm game that looked pretty cool. Yeah, it was only okay for an Indie World Showcase.
Yeah, there's nothing that
didn't watch it.
Really caught my eye.
Nothing huge. Yeah. In that 20-minute presentation. All right, so let's talk Lego sets.
Oh.
Because
now I care.
We got 4 new Sonic Lego sets revealed.
That is true.
Coming out in August 2023.
Yep.
They include Green Hill Zone Loop Challenge, Speed Sphere Challenge, Tails Workshop, and Tornado Plane, and Amy's Animal Rescue Island.
Yes.
I imagine, Phil, you are in for all 4 of these.
I probably.
What a very CJ style response.
Probably. Yeah. Let's not kid ourselves. Yeah, I'll probably pick these all up.
What do you think of these, Greg? What do you think of these Sonic sets?
Yeah.
You're a Sonic fan, a Genesis fan. These are classic Sonic.
Yeah. What else do you want here? Why are you all?
I don't know. They look fine.
What do you want? What are these missing?
I wouldn't mind having more sets based on like specific levels of certain like specific Sonic games.
Oh,
Levels that aren't Green Hill Zone.
Yeah,
that's the one people know.
That
I know
the
it
one
is.
people know.
I mean, that makes the most sense to do, obviously. But no, like when I looked at them, they really struck me more like along the lines of the Mario sets we've been getting.
No.
I don't know how to describe it. I want to say play set, but that's stupid. They're all play sets. You know what I mean? But
Right.
it just, yeah, I don't know. I was underwhelmed when I saw them. I was
Okay.
excited that they're doing more Sonic, but whatever.
You got a little like spin dash action feature in there.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's dumb.
What I think you mean is that these seem more like they're for kids rather than adult collectors.
Yeah, I guess
like yourself.
that's probably the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need your Lego to be mature,
Damn right.
like the grown up that you are.
That's right.
Yeah, no,
You don't want to be seen playing with toys. You're
I get it.
This is a collector's.
Yeah,
This one
Excuse me,
clearly
I'll go
had the
transform my
18
cycle and cycle.
plus on the box, so it's for grown ups like me. I get it. I get it.
Men of taste.
Yeah. Oh, my
Well,
goodness.
apparently, there's a Pac-Man set coming in June.
I'm all
and
over that.
We got some images of that. Now that is for the adult
What?
collector.
What? Oh
I
yeah,
think
it's the machine, right?
It's the
arcade?
Pac-Man machine. Yeah.
I think I sent that image to you guys at one point, very early on.
I think you probably have. Yeah. But
I'm in on
God,
that.
it looks great. I'm probably going to end up getting this.
Oh yeah, I will be getting that.
Yeah.
Very, very curious to see what secrets this one will hold. I still haven't bought the NES set.
Dude,
I don't know what's
Oh.
keeping me. But
I'm waiting. We need a Genesis set at this point, right? I mean, that's got to happen at this point.
that would be
I wouldn't be
cool.
surprised.
Yeah,
You know,
that
we
would
had
be
the-
very cool.
The most popular system from the 70s, the most popular system from the 80s. Now it's time for the most popular system from the early 90s.
Oh, the Super Nintendo?
Doing a Super
No.
Nintendo system?
No. You guys are wrong.
Wasn't it that eventually the Super Nintendo did catch up and
Yes,
surpass
when
the Genesis.
the Genesis was off the market, the Super Nintendo did catch up. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, okay. It took Sega purposely killing their own market for Nintendo to catch
Yeah.
up.
Oh,
Is that what
boy.
you're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh my
But no,
Right.
it would make sense to see one if they keep doing game systems. It would make sense to see a Genesis. That would be the only
Would.
Sega one you'd ever see, I think. And it would
Yeah.
make sense to see a Super Nintendo as well.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
a Game Boy.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed. A Game Boy Lego set would be awesome.
And then a PlayStation, probably.
Probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Wrapping up the news section here. Humanity, the fantastic new puzzle game from Enhance.
We now
No, wait.
pause for a brief
Yeah,
ad break
for a brief
before we get-
commercial.
before we get to the end of the news.
Yeah, we have a release date for Humanity. Finally, it has been revealed.
Oh,
May 16th is the date of that game's release. Yeah, and to commemorate that event, Enhance released a retro-styled commercial, very much in the style of those PS1, PS2 era commercials out of Japan that were really strange and interesting and quirky, one might say.
Mhm.
So yeah, we had a series of commercials that we released last week, and the release date, May 16th, comes out on PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, and Steam if you're on a PC. And it's VR optional for all those platforms. So PSVR, PSVR 2, and PC VR.
Mm.
And it's part of the PlayStation Plus game catalog, which means if you are a
cool.
extra or premium member of PlayStation Plus, you can download it for free starting May 16th.
Look at that.
Boom.
Why
Yeah.
wouldn't you play it?
Exactly. It's if you're a member of PS Plus on those tiers, yes. Please play it. Please. No, but I'm looking forward to it finally being out.
Really begging. DJ, it's a good game. You
It's-
don't have to do that.
It is a good. I
You don't
really like
have
the
to-
game. Yes.
You don't have
I
to
want-
get with the please clap. You don't
I
have
want
to do
other
that.
people to like the game, though. Like,
I know.
that's but yeah, very proud of the ads, very proud of the game, and we finally have a date, May 16th. So
There you go.
yeah. Alrighty. Shall we get into what you've been playing?
Sure.
Let's do it. Greg.
I played some stuff this week. I'll tell you before we get into that, because I know that Phil played Advance Wars Reboot Camp, and I know CJ, you were playing the Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster, which two of the games that I've been playing.
Yeah.
But one of the games I did play that neither of you guys appeared to have tried is there was a 2-hour trial. There is a 2-hour trial of Disney Speedstorm, which is the new Disney themed kart racing game coming out from Gameloft.
Okay.
That's on PS Plus. The trial's on PS Plus.
PS
right?
Plus. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I probably should have mentioned that. So the trailer looked good for it. It's got an interesting style because it is Disneyfied, but it's I don't know how to describe it. It looks like it's trying to be edgier than Disney.
Oh.
I've been noticing every now and then in like Walmart, there is a series that I think is probably discontinued at this point because I see them on deep discount where it's a bunch of like Disney action figures, but they're like really, I don't know how to describe them other than to say they're
like
really edgy.
The mirror
That's
verse
what it
or
is.
something?
The Mirrorverse.
Yeah.
And I never looked it up. I don't know what the whole context of that is, but
I think it's a mobile game.
okay,
Yeah,
well, that's what this reminds me of.
Okay.
Probably
also-
made by Gameloft.
Yeah, probably made by Gameloft. So I think I mentioned back when this trailer came out that my biggest worry was that it's Gameloft.
Yeah.
And
Disney Mirrorverse is made by Kabam.
Kabam. Okay.
Yeah.
Gameloft, of course, well known for a lot of mobile racing games.
Right.
Some good ones. They've made good games. But I was worried that it was just going to be basically a front end for microtransactions and nothing else. So boy, was I right.
Oh.
So
it is a front end for microtransactions.
Basically. So yeah, this trial, you can also just buy the game outright. So this is the first thing. You can buy the game right now, and it's a founder's pack.
Right.
So
you're not really buying the game outright. You're buying a founder's pack.
Right, because
there's different packs you can buy.
The game later this year is going to be free to play. It's not now.
Yeah.
So they're selling it first,
Mm-hmm.
but the plan is for it to be a free to play game.
Well, they're doing the Disney Dreamlight Valley thing.
Right. So
Game developer, right? It's Gameloft, yeah.
Yeah, so the gameplay itself's pretty good. It's a pretty straightforward kart racer. There's drifting. It controls pretty well. There's a lot of bunching up of the drivers, and the tracks are sort of all based on different Disney themes. That's great. But they don't really seem to differentiate themselves too much. My first impression of the actual gameplay was actually the audio. Everything is dubstep. All the music is dubstep. It's weird, but it's dubstep versions of Disney classics.
Oh.
So like the first track you're on is like Mount Olympus from Hercules. And so I forget exactly. I think it's Gospel Truth. The song Gospel Truth is playing from that movie, but it's a dubstep version of Gospel Truth.
Okay.
And then there was another one where it's a classic Disney song that I used to have on a record when I was a kid. But anyway, same thing. It was a dubstep version. So it's a really weird musical choice. And I'm playing it. I'm like, I can't decide if I like this because I wanted to get to new levels to hear what they'd done with whatever the next song was that they were going to butcher.
Yeah.
But they were butchering them. Like it was, like I was compelled to continue to hear it, but I didn't like any of it. But the other thing that struck me is, boy, when you get into the menus, it is a confusing mishmash of currencies and like not even if you look past that, like the menu system in general is so convoluted and confusing that you can go down dead end paths like crazy. You're constantly being upsold. You're constantly unlocking things that aren't really clear what you've unlocked. I unlocked Donald Duck at one point. He was the first character I unlocked. I got 3 or 4 different notifications that I'd unlocked him. Oh, by
I'll
the
let you
way,
know.
the word rare was next to his name every single time.
Oh, of course.
You know,
But
he's the
yeah.
first character. So anyway, I was getting all these different currencies, and I'm thinking, like, I wonder if there's a place that I can find out how many different currencies there are, because there seemed to be a lot. I couldn't figure it out. But the other thing I did notice in the store, well, 2 things. In the store, there was always like the featured items that was all about FOMO. It's like, it's
Mhm.
only available for 14 more hours. And everything else seemed like it was a loot box,
Oh.
I think, but it wasn't clear. So I went I went online and I actually saved an excerpt from the IGN review, because I found the IGN review of the game and it described it really well. So I just want to read this.
Okay.
And my daughter's going to walk in here while I'm doing this, but because I can hear her walking around outside. Anyway, so this is from the IGN review, trying to explain sort of the currencies and the economy and everything in this game. So it says tokens are blue. You earn these from completing objectives during races and moving up reward tiers, and we will apparently be able to buy tokens to access locked content faster. Then there are tokens that are like tokens, but yellow. These are season coins. You get these from moving through the Golden Pass, which is Speedstorm's Battle Pass equivalent. I bought that with a Golden Pass credit. That's another currency that came with the early access pack, separate to the tokens and season coins. Then there are seasonal tickets and universal box credits, which seem like tokens, but they're purple. Also separate to the multiplayer coins, which are tokens that naturally come from competing online. There's ranked multiplayer racing, where you take your characters in at whatever level you have. Regulated racing, where racer stats are standardized. I won races in both, and there's not much more for that. But I'll keep moving on here. You'll have to play multiplayer if you want to use the Speedstorm shop, because sometimes things cost multiplayer tokens. However, some other things cost blue tokens, and some things cost yellow tokens. Sometimes they cost purple one, because why not? Sometimes items are just there, a la carte. Sometimes they're in a blind box. Did I mention there are different types of boxes? There are different types of boxes.
My God.
Then there are racer shards, which are essentially another currency unique to each individual character that you use to unlock racers and upgrade your character's star levels. And then there are upgrade materials, which also stack as basically another currency. So you also need to upgrade your characters. You'll need to do that to keep up with the competition. The stuff can be found in the loot boxes you are playing, rewarded via the Golden Pass, or simply bought from the shop with one of several currencies, maybe in a box, maybe not. For 1,200 tokens, I bought 20 Mulan shards, which are automatically traded for 1 Mulan star. I want to make my Mike Wazowski faster, but I now need 4 scare tanks, 1 turbo, and 4 wrenches, and I'm short 2 wrenches. Did anyone say any of this out loud?
Which you just did.
Oh boy.
Yeah, boy, it's just
yikes.
So all that is to say, there's a semi-competent kart racer there somewhere.
Yeah,
but man, like, normally the free to play sort of style of game, because you can smell it coming from a mile away when the second you get in and you see all the little icons all over the header and everything like that. It's like, okay, yeah, I know what I'm in for. That normally turns me off anyway, but holy crap, you're just bombarded with it inside of the first 10 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a shame.
So you deleted that immediately.
Oh, yeah, it's gone. So anyway, yeah.
I thought about downloading that because I saw it on the PS Plus menu and was like, but I've heard so many bad things about the monetization, so I'm just gonna
it's
avoid
ridiculous.
it. Like I don't care about it enough to
it had me sitting there going, like, you know what? I wish they just show me a list of characters that with actual prices underneath them, and I'll just buy them. At this point, I would rather that.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway,
I didn't do that.
That was Disney Speedstorm. That was my one and only experience with Disney Speedstorm. I will never ever turn that on again.
Yeah.
But I have been playing a lot of Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster.
Oh,
really super into that. I ended up caving and buying the PlayStation version because it was like $15. So I didn't buy the pack. I just bought the first one.
You just bought the first one? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I bought the pack on Switch.
Yeah, I figured you did.
I bought the pack on Switch.
Have you played it yet?
Not yet. I've just I booted up 6 just to take
Which
a
is
look
the
at
best
it. So
one. Yeah.
where do you turn on the cheat mode?
It's when you start.
Is it okay?
Yeah, it's not in the options screen before you play, but it's when you actually
Right.
start a game.
Okay.
Which is what I've been doing. I've got 4x on everything. I didn't turn off random encounters.
Mm-hmm.
I've got 4x on everything. Hi.
How
Good
you
night.
doing?
I love you.
Oh, that's very kind.
Aw.
See you in the morning.
Oh, I mean, you can see me right now if you want.
Anyway, yeah, when you turn the game on, I didn't turn off the random encounters, but I turned on.
Well,
the
you can do that on the fly.
Yes, you can.
You can do
Oh,
that
yeah,
by
that's good.
pressing in the analog stick. I think the left. It's either the left or right analog stick turns
It's one
off
of the analog
encounters.
sticks.
The other
Hmm.
one changes your walk speed.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
Excellent.
very handy.
Yeah, I mean,
you
I
only
love
bought
it.
the first one.
Mhm.
I started playing the first one because I'd never played Final Fantasy 1. The only one of these that I'd played before was 6. I may have played a little bit of 5, but not enough to get a feel for it or anything like that. So,
Mhm.
and I love Final Fantasy 6. It's one of my favorite games. But going
As
back
you
to the
should.
first one, I did have to turn off random encounters quite a bit.
There's a lot of them.
Because yeah, there's a lot of them, and then it seems like some of the dungeons in the game are just like labyrinths. They're just
Yeah.
mazes, and you're just
That's the
walking
point.
through them trying to make sense of them.
I
I didn't
mean,
want to get stopped like every
But hey,
every 5 feet.
at least there's an on-screen map now,
There is an on-screen map. Yeah.
which there wasn't back in 1990. I think is when that came out here.
Right. So I am utilizing that a little bit, but wow, it's easy to get lost in some of
yeah.
these environments. And
yeah?
I turn off random encounters to get through those areas, really, because it's kind of a pain in the first game anyway.
So yeah, I mean the thing with the first game, because you're not the first person I've heard say that they want to, experience the first game. And I mean, this is definitely the way to do it, because the first game, you have to remember the first game comes from the late 80s.
Yeah.
Narrative wise, there's not a whole hell of a lot going on. It's not,
No.
if your experience with Final Fantasy started with Final Fantasy 6, it could not be more different.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy 6 was just a soap opera where characters kept swapping in and out, and it was amazing. It was great.
Yeah.
But they were not doing that here. The world's relatively small. And so yeah, I mean, it's one of those situations where let's pad this thing out with a lot of random encounters and a lot of battles, and we gotta extend the game somehow.
It's
But that being
padded a lot.
said,
Yeah.
yeah, but that being said, one of the things I remember when this game came out, I mean, I was super excited about the first Final Fantasy. And I had played Dragon Warrior, but I was more excited about Final Fantasy thanks to Nintendo Power. But the thing that I remember really being impressed by back then was all the different vehicles and everything you could get. I mean, I love the way the world opens up in the first Final Fantasy. It doesn't have anything to do with traveling long distances so much as it has to do with acquiring different modes of transportation. It's like, you get the pirate ship, and then you get the canoe, and then you get the airship, and that finally opens up the whole world. And you're, like, I just actually finished the section where you create a canal to get out of the sort of the interior sea that you're stuck in when you get the pirate ship.
Hey,
at the
that's as far
beginning.
as I am too.
Yeah. So, but I'm really enjoying it, and I love having those features to turn it into easy mode, because all I want to do is sort of, have that. We've talked about this so many times on the show. I just want to think about when I was playing this game, 34 years ago. And I can do that now. Plus, the added bonus of the music is absolutely gorgeous. The remixed, the re-recorded music, and the graphics are really nice. I mean, I think they've done a really nice job. There's a lot of sort of PlayStation era special effects going on with the magic and with the transparent overlays and things like that. Yeah,
water.
But otherwise, it's just a really pretty game. So I'm really liking
It
a
is.
lot.
What's your font choice? Did you change? So when this came
I
out on
went to that more
Steam
pixely font.
and mobile, initially they had a pretty bad sort of very
Mhm.
thin font, and that's still available in these by default, but you can change it
Yep.
to a pixel font, which I did immediately
Yeah, I
on
did the
all of the
same.
games that I've played. And I actually really like the pixel font that they're
Yeah,
using.
I think it looks fine.
I know that it is not the same font as the Super Nintendo editions, and that I think that's fine. It's
Yeah.
very readable, even on in handheld mode on the Switch. So
Mhm.
I actually kind of like it, and I know the screen real estate isn't being utilized as well as it could, but I'm fine with that. I'm kind of fine with that too. Like
Mm.
I haven't run into too many issues with that, and I have used the auto battling
I use that a lot.
quite a bit in this, where you can just
Yeah.
set it up to just use attacks and just
Hmm.
do it by itself.
Although the thing that can catch you off guard there, I use that a lot too, because once I get to the point that I'm overpowered for an area where I haven't turned off the random battles,
Yeah,
I don't want to deal with putting in the commands if, like, okay, I know that I can just fight my way out of this one in like 1 or 2 turns.
yeah.
When
Same.
I'm in an area for the first time, I don't use it very often because I am sort of strategizing my way around those fights. But one of the things that I found out not the hard way, but I found out today while I was playing, is that I beat the Earth Fiend, and I had used my magic users were using spells on their last turn.
Hmm.
So auto fight does not set them all to attack. It's repeating whatever their last commands were.
Uh-huh.
So like my next battle I got into, and I used auto fight, and they were casting all the spells I cast in my final turn against the boss.
Mm.
So just FYI,
Right.
when you go into a battle, it will have a list of what their previous commands were from the last battle you had.
Yeah.
So if you hit auto, that's what they're going to do.
Okay.
Hmm.
That makes sense.
No big deal, but it does happen. So
I see.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I can't put it down. I've been playing Advance Wars as well, but boy, I'm just loving just tearing through Final Fantasy.
Yeah, I'm really liking it as well. And then I started Final Fantasy 5 and 6.
Oh, jeez.
Those are pretty different games.
They are pretty different games. And I'm mostly playing 6. And I've gotten to the point now where I'm back in Narsh after meeting Cyan, and Kefka had poisoned the kingdom of Doma. And I have Gaw in my party, and which is like the feral child that you meet in the Veld.
Yep. You're doing really well with these names, by the way.
I know, right? I've never said them out loud. But so I'm getting to the point where I'm probably right before the opera scene bit. So I'm looking forward to that. They've redone the opera scene in
It's
these.
2.5D, right?
It's 2.5D, and it has lyrics too. So I'm very curious to see how this is going to turn out.
I heard
Because
they
that opera
redid it
scene
so
is
it's dubstep, though.
Final Fantasy Pixel Remastered
Well,
is
if
courtesy
Disney
of
buys Square
Gameloft.
Enix.
There it is.
Yeah. But I'm very excited about it. And yeah, I have been doing the 4X experience and money and all that. I love having the 4X on money, especially because I can just buy everything in the shops.
Right.
I can just buy multiple of everything. It's just like fantastic. Oh, I have over 100,000 gil. I can just go crazy in the shops, and that makes me oddly happy when I get to a new town, and then I go through the weapon shop and see which characters can equip these new weapons. I just buy
He's
three
like,
of
oh, one of
three
those
all.
and one of those and 4 of those. And
Exactly right. And I do love, I don't remember if Final Fantasy 6 had this where you can optimize equipment.
I don't remember. I know it's
I-
in all these remakes, but
It's in the remakes, yeah. And I
yeah.
love that feature. It's
Yeah.
like, because I don't want to have to look through stat screens and see which number is higher. Just like, please.
I
do
want
it
to say
for me.
Final Fantasy 6 at least told you if an item you were highlighted on, who could use it and whether it was
Yeah.
better than what you had equipped. The
That I
first
do
Final
remember.
Fantasy didn't do that.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Those, well, I mean, again, 1990.
Well, yeah.
You were guessing at a lot of that stuff, or you were writing down numbers and comparing them manually. So no, in fact, I don't know if Final Fantasy VI does this, but I know in Final Fantasy, one of the other things that I really like about, not only is that optimize option in there, but it's in there in the store menu.
Oh,
so like
yes.
while you're in the store, you can immediately go into equip and optimize and sell your old stuff. You don't have to leave. You don't have to go through a bunch of different menus.
Yeah,
really
I
nice.
love that.
Yeah.
I absolutely love that.
And I know these are all pretty standard on more modern games, but that,
Yeah.
clearly they were not a thing back then.
No, they were not. No.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm having a really, really, really good time with it. And yeah, can't wait to dig in more into 5 because I've heard great things about 5.
5 was like the holy grail for the longest time,
Mhm.
right? Because it was the Super Famicom game that didn't come here.
Yeah.
I remember the first issue of Expert Gamer I worked on. I did a Final Fantasy VI walkthrough, and Andy did a Final Fantasy V. Andy Barron,
Cyberboy
himself.
Yeah.
So yeah, like that was my first assignment, because it was that PlayStation set that I don't know what it was called, Origins or
oh, right.
but it was a big deal because it was the first time we were officially getting an English language version of Final Fantasy V in North America.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just remember that being a huge thing.
I've also never played 4. So
Really?
I'm interested in
Wow.
trying
Really?
that one
4's
too.
pretty great. 4 and 6 are
Yeah.
very similar
Yeah.
from a sort of story structure standpoint.
Okay.
I like 6 more, but 4 is great.
Okay.
But yeah, so I've been playing that, and of course, yeah, Advance Wars 1 and 2, a reboot camp finally came out.
Yes.
So I'm playing a bit of that as well. And I know Phil, you've been playing that.
I have played just a little bit so far. Just the first mission. I don't know
So
how
you're
they're-
not. So you're still using like Nell's special ability and stuff like that. Like you're still in the tutorials, basically.
Yeah. Functionally, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
What do you think of so with Advance Wars?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, the presentation was a huge draw. It
Right.
was for me anyway. So what do you think of how they've adapted that to 3D on the Switch?
I do miss the sprites.
Me too.
Yeah. I don't know. It's I miss the sprites. The sprites were so charming.
Yes. It's not that
and
these don't look good.
No, they look great, but
Wait, I agree with 100%. That was the first thing I thought too.
the sprites were just so much more charming.
Yeah. Although I think they did a really good job with the models for the units themselves, like the battle units themselves.
Right.
I think they look really good in the game. And I do like that they've sort of made it like it almost looks like you're looking at like a tabletop
Oh yeah.
board game when you're playing.
You have like the little kind of like cardboard box frame around it type thing.
Yeah. I dig that. I think it works. Where they were going 3D, doing that fully top down angle wouldn't have worked as well.
Right.
The only thing too, I think the other thing that kind of bugs me a little bit about the commander sprites is that I can't tell if they're models, if they're 3D models, or if they're like flash animations that are made to look like 3D models. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because they have that very telltale squash and stretch idle animation whenever they're on screen.
Right.
And I feel like we might actually be looking at a 2D image where they're just like sliding the facial features back and forth to make it look like the head's turning and things like that. And it's just, I've never liked that style very much anyway.
Yeah.
So I would almost rather they were like cell shaded 3D models that had a little bit of imperfection in them. Because I know at one point like Nell's on screen and I think she brings her left arm up to go like this or something, and like her left arm just is clearly not attached to anything. It's just kind of out there floating in space, and it's like, this doesn't look too good. But I mean, yeah, overall, they've captured the spirit of it for sure.
Yeah.
and it's nice to be able to play it finally.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I'm a little bit further than that. I finally what's the little boy character's name?
Andy?
Andy.
Yeah.
I've done a couple battles with him.
Okay.
I think I've just gotten to the point where the sharpshooter's shown up.
Okay.
I'm about to fight him now, so we're still in the orange star territory, but done the fog of war and introduced the aerial units, and I've seen one marine unit now, although it didn't do anything. It was just sort of sitting off the coast of one map. But yeah, really digging it. But yeah, I'm the same. I miss the sprites. The sprites were really cute and had tons of character, and something's been lost in the translation there.
Yeah,
I think, but still really enjoying it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm playing this week.
Alrighty, Phil.
Yes.
What do you got for us?
Well, like I said, I played a little bit of Advance Wars. I played a little bit of Minecraft Legends, which came out this week.
Yes.
I picked that up just because, my kid likes Minecraft a lot, so I figured I'd have that in case he wants to play it. So I was, I'll give this a try.
Well, it's on Game Pass, too.
That's right. It is indeed.
Did you pick it up on Switch?
I got it on Switch. I mean, we can get it on Game Pass, but yeah, I got it on Switch just because he has a Switch. So,
there you go.
I figured, if he wants to play it on his machine. But yeah, it's a weird, because it's not a typical Minecraft game. It's like an adventure kind of game, and it's got like kind of a weird like Pikmin thing going on with it, where you're running around on the overworld and you create little spawning stations, which you use to spawn these tiny little critters who you will then, like Pikmin, you kind of do the whistle and the little circle goes out and you'll have a little crew following you around, and then you have to tell them to gather resources. So, go chop down trees, go mine rock to build structures and things like that. So, again, I haven't messed too much with it, just the very early stages of it, but it seems I don't want to say it was overwhelming, but it seemed like it throws a lot of mechanics at you right away without a whole lot of kind of explanation to it. So I got to mess around with it a bit more, maybe, but it seems like it could be cute, if not maybe a little too complicated for its own good, but maybe I'm just not used to it. Whatever. Who cares?
Wow. All right.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I've been playing more Dead Cells. I've been playing some Picross S8 because I haven't finished that yet.
Oh.
And the S9 announcement made me realize that. So I've been going back and finishing up some of S8. But then I also picked up one of the new, well, not one of the new Arcade Archive release.
Oh yeah.
From this past week, an old Namco release, Cosmo Gang the Video. Which, have you ever played Cosmo Gang
Rolls
the Video?
off the tongue.
I don't think I have.
You have, so I actually have the Super Famicom version of Cosmo Gang the Video.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah. I got that ages ago for a couple bucks. But this is basically a parodious version of Galaga. Is what it is.
All right.
For the most part. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's it's an old school space shooter, and it's, like I said, it's very Galaga themed, with the swarms of alien creatures flying out in patterns onto the screen, and then there's like a kind of a boss one up at the top of the screen, and if you shoot it, you can get a Galaga, they would kidnap your ship and you could reclaim it for double firepower. Now they have a little booster rocket that you can collect to strengthen your weapons, and it's a really fun game. I don't know if you ever played Galaga.
I mean, Galaga's
I like Galaga
game, so
Yep. So if you
Galaga's
like
great.
Galaga and you like cute stuff,
Like
and
Phil.
then there was I don't know if you ever saw this. There was an old like a redemption game, like that gives you tickets. There was a starring the little Cosmo gang aliens,
Mm-hmm.
and I've actually seen this here in the U.S. as well. And I forget what it was, but there'd be a line of 5 or 6 rows with little models of these little aliens, and they would be marching towards you, and you had I don't remember if it was like a squirt gun, like a carnival game style squirt gun, or if it was just like
Like a light gun?
infrared type
Hmm.
things. But they would march forward on these tracks and grab little they'd have blocks, and they would grab them and pull them back, and you had to shoot them to send them back. And there's I don't know if the redemption game came first or Cosmo Gang the video came first, but in between the shooting levels on this, there is a video game version of that old redemption machine, which is really cute.
Oh, okay.
So,
Huh.
but yeah, it's really. Oh, and now I'm seeing Micah
Yeah.
in our chat is basically describing the exact same thing that I'm talking about here.
Yeah.
Thank you, Micah. And apparently the redemption game came first. So Cosmo Gang the video has a digital version of that. So
Cool.
but yeah, it's a really cute, fun little game. I loved it on the Super Famicom, and I was surprised and delighted to see it come to Arcade Archives.
I love
So-
the Arcade Archives
Yeah, that's
series.
I know.
So many gems in that series.
So many.
And I know we've talked about this before, but I wish they weren't like, what is it, $7 or $8 a pop?
Yeah, $8.
I
You know what?
buy
They're
so
doing
many more.
Namco games. How long is it going to be till they get to Newman Athletics? I mean, that's
Oh.
gotta be
Oh,
in the future, right?
boy.
I am gonna buy the hell out of that.
Oh, if they can get Newman Athletics
Newman Athletics.
in Arcade Archives, that will be
A game that nobody knows about or cares about, but it's like a futuristic track and field style game that they had at the local Aladdin's Castle right near the EGM offices for many
that's right.
years. Well, just back in the day, I guess.
At the, what was that mall? It wasn't the Oakbrook Mall.
Yorktown.
It was the Yorktown Mall.
Yorktown Mall
Yes.
in Lombard. And they had a Newman Athletics machine, and we played that like every single lunch that we went to
All
at the
the
mall
time.
food court. We would go and play Newman Athletics, and it's got like crazy stuff like you have to stop a train, and
That's right. Versus Express.
versus Express. Like, yeah, it's like crazy future versions of track and field.
A
It's
javelin
a lot of
toss,
fun.
but you're throwing a missile.
Throwing a missile.
You have the
Yeah.
no stop rock chop.
Yep. A lot of
Come
fun
on.
events there.
Uh,
So it's got to be on the
didn't even-
docket, I imagine.
it didn't even
get to it.
cross my mind
They'll get to it. I mean, it came out on the Wii Virtual Console in Japan.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not
so
over here.
I have to imagine it will come out here
Oh boy, I hope
on
so.
Arcade Archives.
See, now you got my hopes up. So when it inevitably doesn't happen.
I often will just load up the eShop just to see what the week's Arcade Archives release is. Usually it's something I've never heard of, but I'm always
Oh yeah.
kind of curious
Yeah.
about all that stuff.
Absolutely. But yeah, but that's mainly what I've been playing.
Okay.
So, what about you, CJ?
Well, Phil,
Mm-hmm.
in addition to completing my Picross S collection and playing the Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster games, I played a little more Deceive Inc,
Yeah.
which is a social deception shooting game where 8 to 10 players are put in a lobby. You disguise yourselves as civilians or guards, and then you try to extract a briefcase from the level, and all hell breaks loose. But they just opened up their first season of content, and the way that they're doing the battle pass is very interesting in that it's the first game I know of that copies the Halo Infinite style of battle pass, meaning the season doesn't expire. You buy this season pass and you can unlock that content anytime. You own that season. There's no FOMO
What?
or anything like that. And
What a weird concept.
I know, right? And
You own something you buy. Crazy.
as they introduce more seasons, you will be able to purchase previous season passes and unlock the stuff from those as well. So
Oh.
it's sort of like a catalog of content that you can then, like, if you come to the game late, let's say 6 months, a year from now, you decide to pick up Deceive Inc and you want to play and get the content from these other seasons, you can do that. And
Mm.
that is how Halo Infinite seasons are set up. And of course, I don't know that that's been very successful for them in attracting people to come play. They probably needed the FOMO experience, but
Yeah.
it's very interesting to see this adapted for another game. And I kind of hope it's successful and that more places start allowing this, because it's just nice to be able to have access to all the previous season stuff. Like if you're a new player coming into something and you've got like 10 seasons worth of stuff you can unlock, even if you have to pay $10 for each of those seasons, like that's very attractive to me anyway, in terms of like just the amount of content you can get in a game. So and Deceive Inc is a lot of fun.
Just might work.
Deceive Inc is a lot of fun, and more people should play it. It's only $20, and then the season pass is $10. So there you go. And then I also played a game on PlayStation Plus, one of the trials that is on there. And I check those every so often. They have a lot of really good games up there.
Not Disney Speedstorm.
Not Disney Speedstorm, but Bonfire Peaks I played a couple weeks ago, and I really enjoyed that trial. And then I played a game called Dexit. Eternal Matters is the subtitle. And this is a voxel graphic adventure puzzle game. It's kind of reminiscent of Zelda, at least in the first hour. I did a whole lot of like block pushing puzzles and like adjusting the position of lasers that would hit buttons that would reveal new paths and things like that. So lasers. And it reminded me quite a bit of Zelda in that way. And it's all voice acted pretty well. It's sort of maybe a little sketchy in parts, but I actually really liked my time with it. And then I went to look up reviews for this game, and it doesn't have a Metacritic score. It's not on OpenCritic. It's not on How Long to Beat. And the only place that reviewed it is Eurogamer. I couldn't find any other reviews for this game. It's like the publisher just kind of shat it out and didn't promote it at all.
My word.
And I couldn't believe it, because this is not a bad game. Like this, it looks nice. It plays really well. But I was shocked that this game came out to zero fanfare, zero buzz, and apparently zero promotion from its publisher. And I know, like, getting indie games in front of people is very tough. It's very very crowded market. But come on, no promotion, no reviews. Like, what is this? This is crazy. So, but it's up on PlayStation Plus, Extra and Premium as a trial, and I think more people should try it out. Now, it is one of those games that, unfortunately, during cinematics, it does that thing where the camera moves all the time, which gives me motion sickness, unfortunately. But the gameplay itself, I was super impressed with. So I stuck it out. It's only an hour-long trial, so it didn't make me vomit or anything. But yeah, I actually had quite a bit of fun with this game, and appears that nobody's playing it. So
Hmm.
only has like 8 reviews on Steam. I was like, what game comes out that only has 8 reviews? Like you have to really work to hide the fact that you just launched a game to only have 8 reviews. But yeah. So I thought it was kind of interesting. Dexit Eternal Matters is what it's called.
Oh,
And it's up on PlayStation Plus for an hour-long trial. And we'll check it
okay.
out if you don't have motion sickness. But anyway, that is what I've been playing. So I guess that means it's time for tweets.
A tweedly diddly dee. A tweedly diddly dee. Tweet, 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 tweet. A tweedle
Oh,
tweet, a tweedle 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 deedle deedle. A
Alrighty.
doodle doo.
let's do this one from listener John, who says, are there any games you had a big change of heart about over the course of playing? Either a game you loved initially, but then soured on, or a game you weren't really enjoying, but really won you over the more you played it? Kind of a Stockholm syndrome situation.
I'm sure if I think
BioShock
hard, I can
Infinite.
think of some. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
That's a good example.
I was very into BioShock Infinite at first,
Yeah.
Yeah,
and that went downhill quick.
it sure did.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Ah,
I can't think of too many games that I didn't like and then learned to like, because normally
No.
if I don't like something, I just don't keep playing it.
right.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
I'm sure, like, I remember everyone talking about Final Fantasy 13 getting really good by R20.
Yeah. Not gonna stick with a game that I'm not enjoying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, BioShock Infinite's a good example of the
Yeah.
other one.
For sure. All right, let's do this one from Hacker Alias Captain Logan, who says some of the conversation around Dead Island 2 is that it's just Dead Island 1 with a new setting and better graphics. Are updated graphics and settings enough for you, or do you think development studios need to iterate on the previous game's features?
Kind of depends on the game.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes I just want a new environment, and
Yeah.
I feel like this question is a setup for Tears of the Kingdom. Because it's using the same map, but it doesn't even have better graphics, you could say.
Yeah.
It's still on the Switch. Although I do think it looks better than Breath of the Wild from the trailers.
Like Crackdown 2.
Crackdown 2?
No. Crackdown 2 needed more.
Well, Crackdown 2 had a lot of like gameplay adjustments that didn't need to be made.
Yeah, that's also true.
And they ruined the core loop of that game by adding in stuff that was terrible.
That is true.
I think you look at something like the Grand Theft Auto games. I mean, I know that they've improved over the years, but essentially they're, they'll go 2 or 3 2 iterations where they're more or less the same game.
Yeah.
In a new city, and I know that was definitely enough for me with those. So I don't think they have to, I do know in those games they did iterate on some. They usually added more systems and stuff like that. But I don't think you necessarily have to iterate too much on the gameplay. It depends on, like Phil said, it depends on the game. Depends on the kind of game.
I mean, if the core loop of the game, if you enjoyed the mechanics and they were working, why change that up?
No.
Like, why fix what isn't broken? Like,
Right.
I think sometimes Sega does that too much with the Sonic games. They like overcorrect and then it does not turn out well.
Yeah, they take wild swings.
Whereas Mario is still very much core Mario. They're not adding any like crazy stuff to that. They are staying specifically in their wheelhouse, and I think it works for them.
And I mean, you're saying Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, yeah, sure, but I mean, I think the Zelda games have taken pretty wild swings as well, like historically. There's a lot of gameplay differences from Zelda to Zelda usually. I mean, this
Yes.
one as well, like the weapon combining, like all the crafting stuff. There was light crafting in the last one, mostly
Mhm.
for food,
Yeah.
but it wasn't
And
really part
elixirs.
of the core battle loop, and now it is. So,
That's true.
I mean, that's a pretty big change. I wouldn't say they're the same. Yes, it's using the same map, but not even that really. I mean, you have all those floating islands. It's not the same thing. So, I don't know.
I was
think
making
they're
fun
a
when
pretty
I
big
said that I
change.
was making fun of the internet. I was
You were
not
just
saying
waiting
that
for one
I
of us
think
to
it's
say
the same
something
game.
terrible about
Yeah.
Zelda.
That's exactly what I was waiting
We'll
for.
be saying plenty of terrible things about Zelda in a month. You just wait. Just be patient.
I will. Yeah. Indeed. All right. So let's do this one from Hacker Alias 1 star, who says, "What's a title you enjoyed but gave up on because it was just way too long or repetitive?" Alice Madness Returns was that title for me. I liked a lot about the game, but it just kept going with little variety. I eventually lost interest in returning. So a game that you
It's not
liked but was too long.
it's not due to a lack of interest,
Mhm.
certainly. But I cannot get too deep into the Yakuza games, which I
Yeah.
love. I love these games. I adore the world. I adore the characters. The
Mhm.
gameplay is a lot of fun, but holy cow, those games are huge.
Yeah.
And there's just so much like side quest stuff that I just, yeah, it's more that I end up getting distracted by new games that come out, and I keep
Right.
meaning to go back and finish some of them. But
Yeah, with Yakuza, I feel the same way. That could be my answer for this too. But I mean, I like the games, but it's often like I feel like it's a bit of the Kojima effect, where sometimes the game is too much in love with its own story and cinematic trappings, where it's
Hmm.
going to show you a cutscene that is 10
20
minutes
minutes long.
long.
Yeah.
And I personally don't like that. I like my games to be something that I can pick up and actually like play and not sit there for a 10-minute cutscene. I end up getting bored.
See, I don't know. It's funny because you brought up Metal Gear, and I think actually Metal Gear is a better example of what you're saying, because I just sort
It
of think of
absolutely is.
my history with that series. Boy, I was all in on Metal Gear until basically Metal Gear Solid 3, and then I was kind of like, meh.
Yeah.
3 didn't do anything for me. 4, I did play through, although I could not tell you what happened. I don't have any memory of it. And then 5, I just didn't finish.
Right.
And I don't, and I'm just Kojima is so wrapped around his own storylines and stuff like that now that I can't deal with it. The Yakuza games, I feel like they get it right because they really successfully mix absurd humor
Yeah.
with pretty serious storylines.
Well, that's true.
And it really works.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It does, yes.
But yeah, I do see what you're saying. I mean, it's yeah, you do have to put a lot of time in, I guess, but it's also nice that you can just fire it up and run around and do stuff.
Oh, yeah.
There's always something to do in that game if you don't want to critical path it, right?
Yep.
In those games, I should say. So, yeah, I can't think of anything else off the top of my head. I mean, I was sort of feeling that way with playing through Metroid Prime earlier this year.
Oh, yeah.
As much as I really like Metroid Prime, I felt like that game really overstayed its welcome by the end.
Mm.
And I'm sure there's another one I've played recently that I felt kind of the same way, but yeah, it happens. Especially nowadays where games are made to be so friggin' long.
Yeah.
I know some people in our chat are all about that, and that's great.
Absolutely.
But yeah, there's for me, not so much. I kind of want to, if it feels like the story has sort of run its course, I want it to be over.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give me a good 10 to 15 hour game. I actually have a chance of finishing it then. Yeah. All right, let's do this one from listener Micah, who says, "What's the history of graphics versus visuals? Did usage of those terms differ by publications geographical locations, generations of people, or consoles. What about cinemas versus cutscenes?
No.
I know for me, I don't know if it's a regional thing or not. But in publications, I think it has way more to do with the fact that you don't want to use the exact same term over and over and over again. You're looking for,
Yeah.
if it's something that you're referencing constantly, you're looking for different words,
Right.
you know,
There's that, but
represent
then
them.
like places like GamePro and EGM would give visuals or graphics a score, right?
But aren't they interchangeable?
They are interchangeable. Yeah. I think it just came down to personal preference of the editors who
Yeah.
created that system, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, just talking about, regional type things, certainly amongst my friends, we always just talked about graphics.
Mm-hmm.
It was never the visual.
I always remember saying graphics.
Same. Graphics.
I always say graphics.
Yeah.
What about cutscenes?
Always,
And
yeah.
Cinemas.
Cinematics.
Cinematics.
We use interchangeably, but
Yeah. I think in the early days we would say like cinema scenes.
Cinema scenes. Yeah.
And
Ninja Gaiden.
I'm specifically referring to Ninja Gaiden, yes.
Yeah.
Where it was, it had awesome cinema scenes.
Well, really not Wrath of the Black Manta?
Didn't they specifically say something on the box about the cinematic?
I think they did.
Presentation.
Yes, I'm almost positive they did.
Something like that. They said something cinematics or cinema. It was part of their marketing.
Oh yeah, they were absolutely.
Tecmo advertising the game right on the game.
Exactly. Yes.
I
assume Phil's looking it up.
I am. I'm looking up.
Looking at the Ninja Gaiden box.
Ninja Gaiden box art. Let's see here.
It had to have said something.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Tecmo's unique cinema display system
there you go.
Develops the story stage by stage.
There you go.
Ninja Gaiden was a friggin' masterpiece.
Oh,
that
absolutely.
Game still holds up so well today. In every way.
Such a good game. The music, the visuals,
and the graphics.
And the graphics.
The cinematics and the cutscenes.
Yeah.
Yes.
The oral soundscape.
Oh, absolutely. The mouthfeel.
The mouthfeel. Yep. Taste.
Mm-hmm.
Goes down smooth.
Yep.
All right. I think that's a good place
yielding.
to stop recording. All righty. And that is our show for this week. Thank you very much for listening. If you have a question for us or would like to comment on something you heard, you can direct that to @P1Podcast on the Twitters or @P1Podcast @Mastodon.social. Or you can go to our internet website at player1podcast.com. There you'll find blog entries about Sega CD games from Mr. Greg Seward. You will find Generation 16 episodes as they happen.
They're happening real soon.
Real soon. So I will check that out.
I'll tell you what, if you can travel through time and space, you don't really need a car.
Nope. That is also true.
Yes. And you will also find show notes and links to all the things we talked about on the show, and a link to our Discord server where you can discuss this episode with us and our other listeners.
If you would like to subscribe to the Player One Podcast, you can do so by visiting player1podcast.com or by loading up your favorite podcast listening app. You can also find us on Stitcher Radio or on Spotify. You can like us on Facebook. You can watch video archives of our show on the youtubes.com/P1podcast or watch us live most weeks on, the YouTubes, the Twitters, the Facebooks, the Twitch, televisions all over the darned place. Follow our Twitter or Mastodon accounts at p1podcast.mastodon.social to find out when we're doing our next live show. Typically, it is Sunday nights at 5:30 Pacific time. So join us, won't you? I'll tell you what, if you like what you've heard, and how could you, head over to patreon.com/P1podcast. Throw a few shekels our way. CJ is gonna need a lot of cleaning products to get all that poop that his machine is going to throw all over his home.
Possible. Yeah.
We don't know yet. It's yet to be tested. So we'll find out.
I'll get a notification on my phone once it's been used.
Really?
Oh my God.
Yes.
Your phone will now buzz to let
Christ.
you know when your cat has pooped?
Yes.
Oh,
Isn't
has science gone
technology
too
wonderful?
Here we thought AI was the problem.
Your cat has evacuated its bowels. What are you supposed to do with that information?
I don't know. I mean, if your
CJ's
cat
gonna be
is
in the middle of
using
watching a
the litter
movie at the
box an
theater.
excessive amount, there might be something wrong with their health, for instance.
I mean, you're not wrong. It's true.
Yeah.
What is the box running a chemical analysis on the scat?
No, but maybe it should.
Well,
It also weighs them.
Why?
it
Why do we get
weighs.
into so much poop
It
talk
weighs
on
your
this show?
cats. Yeah, I know. Isn't that crazy?
So
It doesn't weigh their poops. It weighs the cat.
Oh, it weighs the cat.
Yeah.
Okay. So if
Anyway.
CJ's
Please
gonna
kill me.
CJ's gonna buzz on his phone, and he's gonna be like, why's my litter box saying that a 250-pound creature has just defecated? You're gonna know that like some drifter has wandered into your home.
Phil came over to visit.
Now, hey, look, I'm not as svelte as I used to be.
I don't remember you ever being.
Oh my goodness. Well, I hope you're looking forward to poop updates on your phone.
I am. Yeah.
Good. Does it have like a camera inside? Does it send you a picture?
No picture. No.
Okay. But we want to
I don't need that.
respect the cat's privacy.
Yeah. You can have a
Okay.
light turned on when they go in there.
Wait, does it really?
It does. Yeah, it has a light.
That's how much did you pay for this?
I turned that feature off though.
Oh, you turned off the light?
Yeah.
Okay. You
They
don't want to
they can
disorient.
they can poop in the dark. Just like I do.
Them poop in the dark. Let them eat cake of the 21st century. Let them
Exactly.
poop in the dark.
Exactly.
Oh boy. Okay. Well, what we'll actually use your Patreon funds for is for streaming and all this stuff. I don't know. Who cares? Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's all just scat that's gonna get swept away by the robots. Tell you what, if you have a couple bucks left over, head over to Generation. Well, no, don't head over I guess you could head over the Generation -16. Do you still own that, Greg?
Yeah.
Okay. But where you want to go to patreon.com/Greg Seward, where you can help support Greg's outstanding. And it is outstanding. And I say that having watched the most recent episode, web series about North America's favorite runner-up, the Sega Genesis.
Thank you, Phil. And if you are a patron of the $5 variety,
Also cheap.
you get access to the Weekly Commute, which is a weekly vlog series that I do talking about the creation of these episodes, along with all the other videos I'm working on, as well as doing other fun stuff like doing game room tours. And the latest thing I've been doing is going back and checking out old reviews that I wrote before I started getting paid to do them for a living. You know what? I wasn't
What?
bad. I understand why I got a job. That's all I'm saying. The latest one I was looking at was F-Zero X. A
Oh,
review of F-Zero X
Oh.
for the N64. But yes, what Phil just said, if you're a patron of the $3 plus variety,
also cheaper?
Thank you. You currently have access to the latest episode of Generation 16.
Oh my gosh.
Which is based on the Pioneer Laser Active game I Will, The Story of London, a game you've never played, a game there's very little information about on the internet. So I highly recommend watching it. I've been working on that for about 2 years.
I knew nothing about this game going into it, Greg.
There's not very much information on it out there. It's a
Yeah.
meme. That's really all it's known for. Like it every now and then you'll see that crazy intro pop up in
You know, I've
video.
never even seen that before.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
cool. And for all of you who aren't early access patrons, that will be this time next week. You'll be able to watch that as well. It'll be on general release next week. So, but please consider supporting the show. We'd really appreciate it.
Well, all right.
Yeah.
Is that it?
That's it.
Okay. CJ,
Yeah.
thank you so much.
Thank you, Phil.
Absolutely. Gregory.
Yo.
Thank you as well.
I haven't even gotten to the crew mechanic, which appears to be JPEGs of other random Disney characters here to be another thing you need to upgrade. Or
Wait,
the loot
what?
points,
Oh
or
my
the loot
God.
points, or the collection level, which are points but different.
Oh my.
Ugh.
I'm just getting that
Fuck that
Lego
game.
racing game.
Yeah, that Lego 2K Racer.
I think I'll stick with that one.
Yeah.
It sounds less complicated.
Thanks,
And of
Phil.
course, a big old thank you to you, our wonderful, wonderful listeners, every single one of you. Remember, as always, take care of yourself, your loved one, your family, your friends. Do what you gotta do to be safe. Be lovely, lovely people to everyone else. My gosh. And we hope beyond hope from the bottoms of our hearts that we see you next week. Goodbye, dear friends.
Bye.
Bye-bye.